I was being vetted for Department of Labor and Industry. Arnie was really proactive about women, and he wanted to have the first woman over at Labor and Industry. So that's what I was doing. I was with the Medical Association doing healthcare reform and doing public policy and public health. And it's Doctor's Day at the Capitol. And at that time we just had beepers. And the message was, don't bother me when I'm at the Capitol. And they kept beeping and beeping. Finally, the governor sent out 2 Capitol police, as he would, right, to find me. Dragged me into the governor's reception area, and there was all kinds of Democrats there. They had some Republican legislators there, and they said, we need you to go to Department of Health. And I said, but you already have a commissioner of Department of Health, John McCauley. And they said, we need you to go to the Department of Health. And by the way, we fired everybody we need you to continue to get rid of everyone in the office, everyone. And I said, really? And it was really the Mayo docs who talked me into it, doing it. They said, no, you need to do this. And so finally I said, gee, I really have to think about it. And the governor which he's always impatient, well, can you get back to us in 2 hours? And so I thought, I at least want to talk to my husband. So I called Dennis, and he said, well, what do you want to do? And I said, well, if I can do health care reform, that's what drew me in, was the governor said, we need you to spearhead health care reform. I said, if I can do health care reform, that would be great. Well, John McCauley was resigned under pressure in 2 weeks, and I was presenting to Lee Greenfield's committee, the Minnesota Department of Health budget, because he also was asked not to go over to the legislature at all. And then Lyle Schwarzkopf, who was the governor's chief of staff at that time, walked in the back, and then, of course, everybody knew what was going on. So I excused myself. I went with Lyle. We went over to the Senate Republican offices because the press were going crazy. We went into the janitor's closet, and we had a discussion. He said, the governor wants to know if you would like to be commissioner. And I said, Lyle, the governor's got to make a decision. I do health care reform or I'm commissioner. I can't do both. Because doing the health care reform, when we had the Holmgren's bill and everything, it was going to be extremely controversial. And I did not want to be caught sideways on that issue. And so he called Arnie, and he got back to me in 10 minutes and said he wants you to do health care reform. It's his most important issue. But he says his request of me was that I would serve as acting until they got a new commissioner, and that I would, along with 2 other people, participate in choosing the new commissioner. So that's how we ended up interviewing Marlene, and Marlene had just retired, and she agreed to come on for a year, and that's kind of how it happened.